Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Three of Wands, a very virtuous card. I feel like in your life you're willing to pretty much do whatever it takes to do the right thing, to get to the goal, or to make something work. You know what I mean? Anything, you'll do anything as long as it's legal and ethical. You have this intense spiritual compass, and I feel like you have this expansive view of your life. Yeah, there's a confidence about you right now, and there's a self-respect. I think that you're acting in a way that your future self will admire. Yeah, very much. And I feel like you know exactly who you are. You know what you're made of. You know what you're capable of. You're leading. You're a principled person. You're not going to be dragged into something that you really don't want to be dragged into. Like, you're not going to fall for the peer pressure. You're not going to fall for the manipulation or the. You're not a follower. Yeah, you're a leader. You can really trust your instincts right now. Yeah, I think your soul is telling you where to put your energy, where to invest your energy. You're someone who shows up consistently. I think reliability is part of your virtue, and this is you like showing up for yourself, you know? Let's put this into a little bit of context, and let's see what is going on. This is your character, right? There's your Ten of Wands. There's your effort. Oh, Gemini, Lover's card. That is your superpower card. This card represents the sign of Gemini. So see, you know who you are. You know why you're here. You know what you're capable of. You know what you want. You know what you'll do. You know how to do it. You know how much you have to give. You know, the Three of Cups. You've got a lot of love to give. Okay? You'll do anything, right? As long as it's legal and ethical. And so you're willing to put in maximum effort into what you truly believe in. If it's you, if it's like, if you're feeling it, if you resonate with it, you're willing to put in level 10 effort for that Empress life. Look at that. That's the goal. That's kind of you reflected into the external world. The Seven of Pentacles. You're willing to push through any challenge. There's no challenge too great to keep you from your Empress. Ace of Cups. Seven of Swords now. There's no mental, there's no mental challenge that's too great for you to overcome. Just as there is no physical blockage that you cannot overcome. You have such great energy right now. Holy cow. We've got this Queen of Cups. And we've got the Moon card. You're willing to go into the dark, scary forest to get, your goal. This is the Emerald City. This is Big Rock, Candy Mountain. This is the paradise. Garden of Eden, best life, good life. This is the oasis. This is the life that's waiting for you on the other side of the dark, scary forest. You have to go through the dark, scary forest in order to get to the Emerald City. This is part of your spiral road. Okay. And I think that this is a jackpot for you. I think that your star is just about to rise. See, this Moon card is always a doorway. And it's a doorway that's saying, look, if you take a risk right now, that risk will pay off. If you're brave and you're courageous and you go into this situation with everything you've got, it's going to work. The sun is just about to rise. That uncertainty is about to become certainty. Something amazing is happening in your life for you. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. Set it down right here with our little octopus friend, the 8 of Pentacles right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. And it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments below the video. Now, as we look around the room, you, Gemini, the lovers, okay, you're making a decision to go after this goal. It's going to require that you trust your instinct, that you use your spiritual vision rather than your human eyesight, right? It's dark. It's a forest. It's a dark, scary forest. It's lunar, okay? We've got fire and fire. Big fireball right here. Right here. This is effort. This is intensity. Okay? And we've got water, water, water. A little bit of air. A little bit of earth. Okay? Mostly fire and water, right? And the major arcana card. So the 3 of Wands, anyways, your virtue. You're acting in a way that your future self will be very proud. You know? You're saying no to something that feels off. If you don't vibe with it, say no. Okay? Say yes to the things that do vibe with you, okay? On the same token, right? So even if it's tempting, even if it feels like it might be good for you, or it's just, oh, it'd be fun, if it doesn't align with your values, you're saying no. Thoughts, words, and deeds. It's how you keep yourself on track. That's how you build the future. Expand your horizons, you know? So think bigger. Send out the email, apply to that thing, explore, reach out. Trust your instincts right now. Because your instincts are what's bringing you, when you're in the, dark, scary forest, you're part of the forest. You've got to use your instincts because we can't see anything. It's dark. Okay? Trust your instincts about where your energy is best invested. Leading from your principles, overcoming the fear of rejection, overcoming the anxiety, or the fear of uncertainty, or the fear of the unknown. Showing up consistently. Giving yourself credit. Okay? And letting your actions truly reflect what you stand for, what you believe in, what you want. See, character is built when your behaviors line up with your values. You know? You understand the right thing to do, okay? A lot of people understand the right thing to do. Not a lot of people do the right thing. You're moving like someone who respects themselves. And I think the world respects you. I feel like a lot of people come to you for advice. A lot of people feel that I feel like you're an old soul. Are you an old soul? Because I feel like people look to you for wisdom and guidance. Even if it's something you've never done before, it's like you've got this aura about you. That's kind of like you know something about it. Like you know the right thing to do even if you've never been there before. You know the right way to go, so to speak. I think there's just something inside of you that's sort of navigating. You got a 10 of Wands on top of that. This is a really large load on your shoulders. It's a huge weight. And I wonder if there is unnecessary weight in your life. I wonder if there are people in your life that are making your life more difficult. We have a 7 of Swords in your environment or in the position of your relationships. So right here, there's a relationship, someone that you are having a relationship with, either professionally or platonically or romantically. There are other entities in your life that seem like they might be a little hypercritical, a little too familiar, giving you advice, or even trying to distract you with temptations that your virtue is telling you, I need to say no to those people. Someone saying, you don't need to save money. Come to Vegas with us or something, right? Nothing against Vegas. I've never been there personally. I'm not much of a gambler. But anyway, the point is there seems like there is peer pressure. This is a card of pressure, right? It is a card of like a lot of weight on our shoulders. We're feeling the pressure. Maybe you're feeling squeezed. You're feeling pressure from other people. You're feeling other people around you are sort of like tempting you to do something unvirtuous, to do something that is kind of like would be betraying your principles. And you're obviously saying no. You don't need to save money. Come, you don't need to study. You don't need to go to work today. Come hang out with us. No. I got to do the right thing because I got goals. Okay? So you're able to say no to this. That's not the problem. The problem is that they keep asking, or they're still there. They're making your life more difficult. And maybe there is a little part of you that kind of says, yeah, God, it would be nice to not go to work today and just like hang out, I was listening to some podcast. I can't remember what it was, but there was a caller that said, I need some advice because I don't like my job. When I go to my job, they make me do things. And, and then they said, well, what do you want to be doing? I want to just like be outside hanging out with my friends. And they said, well, that's not work. That's not you doing the work. That's just someone who doesn't have a job. Like that's, and I thought it was humorous. But I kind of feel like there is that distraction in your life right now where it just feels like it's unnecessary weight, that you just don't need to be worrying about certain things or engaged in certain kind of dramas or conflicts or friction or entanglements. And so I really feel that you need to protect your energy a little bit more. Okay? Because you got goals. Look at this. You are the lovers with your virtue pointed up here at that Empress. You are trying to accomplish your Empress life. You're trying to build something. Maybe you're trying to build a farm, trying to build a house, a home, a family, a career, trying to build up your physical fitness, trying to build up your finances, trying to build your life, trying to accomplish your life goals. And there are distractions. The Seven of Swords are distractions. And having those distractions are putting a lot of weight on your shoulders, unnecessary weight. Okay? And in some sense, this card is about you taking on responsibilities that aren't yours. Okay? So it's kind of asking, like, what things do you need to put down so that you can just carry what you need to carry? What in your life is making your work harder? Lighten the load, And I don't think you're gonna succumb to the peer pressure. I just feel like it's a burden you don't need. Okay. And maybe there's some emotional stuff going on. Maybe it's there are other. And it doesn't necessarily mean temptation, like someone saying, hey, don't go to work. It could be that you're sort of being overburdened with, let's say, your family members' problems, your family members' needs and issues and drama with the family, or like, I don't know, like it's, your parents or something are going through something, or you have friends that are going through something. And I feel almost like you're taking on too much of that emotional load. I feel like you're very empathic. And that's why we have the Queen of Cups here. You're getting, I don't want to call it a distraction because that kind of sounds like cold and heartless, right? We're saying everybody else's problems, they're a distraction to you. That sounds bad, doesn't it? Maybe we shouldn't say it like that. But in a way, I feel like it's not so much a distraction But it's an entanglement that is making you feel way more of a burden on your shoulders than you really need to have. Because whatever it is that's coming in from other people, the seven of swords, trying to convince you that it's your responsibility, whatever's coming in is not your burden to carry. Of course, you have an instinct to take care of everybody because you are compassionate and you have tremendous empathy, Gemini. But if you take on everybody else's issues, burdens, all their problems, you're not going to get to your goals. Okay? Things are tough all over, right? Shout out to Cheech and Chong. It's difficult out here for everybody. So you have to make that sort of choice with this Lover's card. You have to be able to choose what is your burden and what is not. And how much of your energy you need to be devoting toward other people. And I think your compassion and your empathy is wonderful and is extraordinary, and it's really a gift. You are a blessing to this world, you know. But you have to also think of like what you're trying to do in your life. Okay? I believe in generosity. I believe in giving. I believe in being of service. But not to the point where you're going to start going downhill instead of going up and to the right. You know, going on that long and winding road up Big Rock Candy Mountain, being on the spiral road of your life, that you're spiraling down into the gray world. That's an imbalance. That's a dynamic that is not sustainable. Okay? So the Lover's card is really about choice. It's about values. Okay? It's about you making a choice that's meaningful. Which option is reflecting who you really want to be? And sometimes it's not an easy choice. Well, that's why virtue is such a sort of challenging topic, right? Because we know virtue, we know what the right thing to do is. We all have this conscience kind of thing, right? This moral compass or the spiritual compass that's showing us the right way to go. But sometimes we feel like making other decisions. You got to have this very honest conversation with yourself and say, what am I choosing? Okay? Notice which relationships in your life feel draining and which ones feel energizing. I feel like something or someone is not meeting you halfway. Yeah. This card is you aligning your actions with your heart. That virtue, that spiritual compass. There's a split inside of you. I think there's a split between your compassion and your concern for others and that I've got goals too. You know, I've got problems too. It's like somebody's always asking you for money and you're going to keep giving them money. But it's like, now you're not paying your bills. Okay? So that's got to change, right? So the choices that you make really reveal a lot. You got to choose from your values. Choose with integrity. Choose with virtue. This is the card of the heck yes, 1000% heck yes choice. This is also a card that could be a family. Could be about relationships. It doesn't have to be romance, but maybe. And I don't feel like you need to drop the friendship or whatever, or drop the relationship. But I feel like you need to find a way to not get sort of distracted by that. Because see, what we have with the Seven of Swords is you're trying to stay on that straight and narrow. It's like you got a goal, you got a plan, you're trying to stay on course, stay on budget. There's all these little things that keep popping up that are trying to knock you off course. And this could be just somebody's bad vibes, somebody's criticisms, somebody's judgments, wagging their finger at you. Somebody just trying to make you feel bad. Maybe it could be envy. It could be that somebody is mad because you have started to prioritize yourself and your goals and your needs. The Empress is not just about the goal. This is about you being a little bit selfish and taking something for yourself, taking care of your priorities and your needs. But I think once you make this choice, whoever this person is, they're not going to be happy. They're not just going to say, oh, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. No, they're going to get mad. They're going to get petty. They're going to get insulting. Because when you start prioritizing yourself, it means you're not giving them the attention that they wanted. And they're going to get mad, and they're going to start making noise. They're going to start getting louder to try to get your attention because you've stopped giving it to them. Doesn't mean you don't love them. Doesn't mean you don't want the best for them. But what it means is that their best is not your top priority. Okay? And sometimes that's just the harsh reality of that Three of Wands, that virtue. Anyway, we got a Three of Cups back here too. The Three of Cups really is this, the sort of, emotional priorities in a way. It's Mercury in Cancer. And it feels like this is, you recognizing really what kind of relationships you want. See, now we have this virtue and this inner abundance. Spending time with people that encourage you. Connecting with people that feel genuine, right? Celebrating those types of relationships that lift you up, that empower you. I feel like somebody, I don't know who they are, somebody is sort of dragging you down or trying to. This is somebody that will come and will ask you for help when they need it. This is somebody that probably will even come to your aid when you need help. When you're down, when you're low, they might come and try to help you. But when you're up and you're winning, they're negative Nellies, they're complainers, they're haters, they're criticizers. The reason why they show up when you're down is because it makes them feel better about themselves. That's why they don't show up when you're happy. Okay, so the Three of Cups is really about you having those people in your life that will support you. There are people in your life that will be there to cheer you on when you're doing the best, when you're having the best success of your life. They're going to be right there saying, wow, way to go. Okay, they'll be there when you're down and when you're in need as well, but they'll also be there when you're up. They will be celebrating with you. These are the people you want to share your good news with, not these people. These people don't want to hear your good news. Okay, these people don't need to see your post on Facebook about how good you're doing. Because you don't need that extra burden of having to sort of field their responses. Okay. And this is you sharing in joy. Okay. This is you giving yourself to the good moments. This is you making memories with somebody. Just in general with life, You're allowed to feel this. This would be somebody that would tell you you're not allowed to feel good. That you're being selfish if you're taking any time for yourself or indulging in anything that is rewarding to your soul, your body and soul, But up here with the Empress, now the Empress is, yes, the Emerald City, the Big Rock Candy Mountain, your life. This is you living your best life, okay? It's you and the life, right? This is also self-care, okay? This is also Well, really what the Empress is the fertility and the creation of something, the nurturing of something, right? So there's something in your life that you're trying to get it to grow. Sometimes this is your self-care, right? I'm trying to nurture myself, trying to get myself to grow. But this is your job, this is your business, this is your family, this is your garden. You are cultivating something. And you have to give time, effort, energy, money, and space to cultivate this. Fire to earth, right? Mother Earth. You have to be able to give enough resources to whatever this is so that it can thrive. This is someone or something that is trying to divert your resources to them, which means that this is not getting enough of what it needs. So this is like you're trying to grow your garden, but somebody else is trying to steal the water. Somebody else is saying, I need the water for my garden. So you're going to give it to them, which means your garden isn't going to get any water. That's not a dynamic that's going to last very long. And maybe this is just a matter of like, maybe we just share. Maybe it can be more 50-50. Maybe it doesn't have to be you. And if it can't be reciprocated, if it can't be fair or reasonable, then it doesn't need to be at all. Because the Ten of Wands is saying that there is a dynamic here where you are carrying all of the burden, all of the load, you're putting in all of the effort, all of the work, and somebody else is doing nothing. That's going to lead directly to failure. Okay? The Empress, of course, is, the self-care. It's telling you that you deserve to be in a beautiful space. You deserve to feel good. You deserve warmth and kindness. And, you need to focus on your garden that you're growing. You need to protect them, water them, give them light. And give your support to people that you love, but in a way that also supports you. What would true self-care look like for you? Tell me in the comments. Okay? What you focus on in life, what you're willing to nourish, is going to grow and expand. What you care for will flourish. We've got to tend to that garden. Okay? Because in the immediate future, we see that Seven of Pentacles. Yes, challenges, failures. It's a crop failure. Why is it a crop failure? Well, because I think that you're being overburdened with unnecessary difficulties to the point where you're not able to give this enough of the attention, all right, that it really needs. The Seven of Pentacles is something that's being constricted. It's Saturn in Taurus energy. Something is being kind of strangled here, right? Which means that it's something's choking out, the weeds are choking out the flowers of the garden. The tomato plants, right, are being kind of choked out by, I don't know what other thing, some kind of weed, right? But there's a frustration here. This is slow progress. And so, again, it feels like it's like you're driving the car, but, somebody's decided to hook up a bunch of anchors to the back of the car. Or somebody is like, I don't know, it's almost like you've got one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake. It's like, what are you doing? But it's like somebody else has their foot on the brake, if that makes any sense. I don't know how that would even look, but hopefully that's not the case. But it feels that way. It feels like you're putting in tremendous effort, but somebody is like slowing you down, getting in the way, draining the resources, piling up too much stuff on your shoulders and say, here, carry this too. And it's slowing you down. This is a sluggish thing, and we have to find out why that is. Okay? Progress feels sluggish. We have to look honestly at what isn't effective, and we have to adjust. Okay? It doesn't mean we quit. It means we look to that Seven of Swords and we think, what are those things? What are those other swords that are preventing me from just going smoothly and easily forward? these are obstacles that are not really obstacles. I mean, they're obstacles in the sense that, like, we can drive around them. We don't have to carry them. Okay? Something is kind of undermining your efforts right now. And I feel like it's some type of relationship. So be patient with yourself, but be very firm with whoever this other entity is. Okay? This is the physical feedback that you're getting that's saying something is just not, or this is like when the car starts to make a weird noise, or it's like I hit the gas pedal, but it just seems like it doesn't want to go, right? It means something's wrong. And it means we want to fix it. We don't just throw the car out, we take it to the mechanic. We say, a car won't go. Yeah. And I think it's not easy for us to make this kind of assessment or acknowledge this in our life because, well, you got the Ace of Cups. By the way, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Okay. The Ace of Cups is a whole lot of love. Yeah. And this is your heart really, really opening. And I feel like you're a very compassionate person. I feel like you're someone that says yes to people. You give people the benefit of the doubt. If somebody asks you for $1, you say, here, have 2. I feel like you are very open and very willing to water other people, to water their garden. In other words, you're there to console other people. When somebody else is having an issue, you're going to go and you're going to be there with them. If somebody else is having a good day and they want to show off to you a little bit, you'll go and you'll be happy for them. You're emotionally open and you're kind. And I feel that, like, you'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll be there for other people in their times of need or in their times of joy. And that is absolutely a wonderful problem to have. But I think right now, kind of is a problem. Because there's somebody or something in your life that is taking advantage of your good nature. See, this is the card of living, laughing, loving. This is my live, laugh, love card. I can't even say the phrase. Live, laugh, love. And this is so powerful when it's genuine. Okay, but what I feel like is going on the path of the serpent, especially with the 7 of Swords, is that somebody is sort of taking advantage of that or taking that for granted or using that for their own benefit or even using that to take you away from your goals. Like I said, sort of stealing the hose and bringing it over to their garden. Okay. You are very, very kind. Yeah. And I feel like this is the door, this is your heart door open. I kind of feel like we got to close the door a little bit. I don't usually say that. But with this and with this is telling me that boundaries are needed. Absolutely. Okay. This is scattered thought, doubt, avoidance, half measures. We've got to be honest about what this is. It's some kind of distraction. Something is dividing you. Okay? Something is trying to scatter your energy around. Your thoughts are being given to, and your heart energy is being given to other things. It's kind of like, I almost feel like someone's trying to divide and conquer. You know what I mean? It seems like it's a strategy to interfere with your progress in some way by distracting you, by diverting your attention from what you need to be doing in life to then worrying about them. And it may be somebody that's just gaslighting or emotionally manipulative. It may be a narcissist. It may be somebody that just, and maybe they realize it, maybe they don't. But they have so many needs that, and they expect somebody else to fulfill all those needs. You know, that it's taking a lot of time away from what you should be doing because you're trying to fulfill their needs. Now, with that Three of Wands, I think you're saying no. I think maybe for a while it was happening, and now you're saying no. But it's like that dynamic is still there, so you're not quite clear of it yet, but you recognize it, you see it. Okay? It's like every time you sit down to do your homework, you know, this one friend, so-called friend, is calling you and saying, I'm having an issue, I need you. And it's like every single time, okay? To the point where you're rushing to their aid for every little thing, and it's just like, why can't you help yourself at all, you know? And especially the point being that if you don't see them putting in any effort to improve their situation, why is it your full responsibility? I don't mind helping and being of service and being generous. Yes, absolutely, amen. But not if you're not going to do anything. Not if I don't see you lifting a finger. I'm not going to do it for you. I'll help you, sure. But it's like you've got to take the initiative. You know? It's like if I see you making an effort to start, like, you're going to start, you know, going to the gym or eating healthier, you're going to start, like, paying off your debts or something, or you're going to start, like, going to school or something. Yeah, hey, I'll go with you. You know, let's do it together maybe. Or, you know, if it's your family or something and you finally see them starting to, you know, to do something, make some good financial choices, you say, hey, I'll match you dollar for dollar. I'll pitch in too on that, yeah. You know, just as encouragement, as support and as love, but not like somebody's having an issue and you go over and you just fix it for them. Because the Ten of Wands is you taking that on your shoulder like it's yours. You know, like their issue, their problem now is your problem. No, you can go and help them with their problem, but it's still their problem. The dynamic here is kind of, you know, we see that it's a little backwards, right? But I think you're recognizing something along those lines and you're able to say no, and it may be of a financial nature. Okay. The Queen of Cups here is your empathy. This is your emotional intelligence now. I feel like you can see what people are actually doing. And it may be one particular person. I think you're able to, you've lifted the veil now. It's like you're seeing things for how they really are. Okay? You can hold space for other people's emotions and other people's problems and other people's needs, but without abandoning your own. Okay? If you can still water your garden and still have enough water to help somebody else, good. Perfect. But you will put yourself into a severe bind. You'll get yourself into a real tight spot if you give somebody else all of it, all of the water, or if you take on all of the burden for yourself like it's your problem. Okay? This is your ability to be compassionate, but still have boundaries. And I feel like that is really important here. You have this empathy, but you don't need to soak up everybody else's pain, everybody else's burdens. Practice those boundaries. Compassion, yeah, but with clarity. Okay? You have this emotional wisdom, which is your ability to feel things very deeply, but without losing yourself. Okay? And I think that the Moon card here has now become this idea of you're able to really see the clarity about a situation. And you're able to see exactly the decision that you need to make and the path forward for you. And you're able to do the right thing. Because the right, obviously with that virtue, okay? But this is a shadowy situation. There's shadowy, cloudy, foggy emotions. It's uncertainty. This is an energy that's really like not good for making big decisions. Well, this is the need for a big decision. This is you making a big decision, but it's saying like, well, I got to wait for the sun to rise before I make a big decision. But I think really it's also like you got to trust your instinct here. Okay? Because this is a complex, cloudy, very murky situation. You've got to do what you feel is right. Okay? You've got to trust your virtue here. And I think that this is, a new day. This is a doorway to a different future. The light is about to shine here. The sun is about to rise. Yeah. And sometimes this is just that dark, scary forest where it's just like, I've got to go, I got to have the courage to do the difficult thing, even though it's kind of scary and I don't know how it's going to go down. It's like, maybe we have to have that conversation. Maybe we have to set the boundary. And that feels like a dark, scary forest. Okay, let's look at the mystery card. Especially with the Ten of Wands and the Queen of Cups, we do need boundaries. We do need boundaries. This is going to be the Emperor or a Four of something. Or perhaps a Queen of Swords. That'd also be one of your power cards. Let's see what we have. The Devil card. The Devil card sometimes can be our feeling obligated. We feel like we're kind of stuck. We almost feel like we're chained to that situation. Okay? We feel kind of hooked into it, and it's like, I've got to just be kind of selfish, right? We can be that selfish devil, right? One of the qualities of the devil is that ego or that selfishness, right? It's not a bad thing. It's okay to be a little selfish. It's okay to want to put on your oxygen mask. Not even like before you put on the other person's, but to put on yours instead of giving somebody else your oxygen mask and say, well, I guess I'm not going to get any air. Right? And I don't think it's that serious, okay? But it kind of feels like there's a little bit of apprehension about being selfish. I think you need to be. I think you need to know that you have this desire to improve your life, to build your life, to get to Big Rock Candy Mountain, to achieve your goals. And this is you recognizing that being driven for your goals, to your goals, is a very blessed thing. It's a gift. It's a gift from Spirit. Okay? This is the engine of the car, and you have a destination. But somebody keeps pulling you off to all these different errands to run, or someone's always asking you for a ride, and then saying, oh, let's stop here, let's stop there, let's stop. And meanwhile, you're late for work. So is it selfish if you say, I can't give you a ride because I can't be late again or I'll get fired? That's not selfish. That's self-respect. That's what that is. Anyway, let's do an extended reading, all right? We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards, tarot cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini are twice a week, okay? I'll post a schedule, let everybody know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And turn on the notifications so that you don't miss the next video when it comes out. I promise we'll get the schedule settled, and I'll post it all the time, everywhere, so you'll know when your videos come out, okay? But I'm here every day, so just come on back tomorrow. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.